Hey, future me. This might be a super quick one. I literally only have three tiny talking points, and I tried recording like three other videos about different topic, or I've tried starting this video three different times with different topics, and it just didn't feel right. So I don't know. This one's feeling a little weird. I'm feeling a little weird today, but I'm gonna try to talk over these points. I don't know that they'll be super coherent, but whatever. I'll give it a try. And this video might be super short, but whatever. We'll see how it goes. So I watched a podcast today, one of the Ali Abdaal deep dive episodes, and this one was Joe Hudson, How Your Emotions Drive Your Success and Fulfillment. And he basically is like some coach who talks about like how to use your emotions to like live your life or in a more meaningful way or whatever, like being more cognizant about your emotions and stuff. I'm really oversimplifying it, but some interesting thoughts he had. But I think the one key point that really stuck for me, and then the rest of the things I'm going to be talking about are my own anecdotal like whatever stuff. But I think the one big takeaway that I kind of gleaned from it was he said we use logic to decide what we think the emotional response will be. And so basically his example to Ollie was like we're not chasing like logic, we're chasing emotion, right? And so he gave the example of like, what if I told you like, Ollie, you're gonna be homeless, but you're gonna like love it. You're gonna be so happy. You're gonna be the most fulfilled you've ever been in your life. You're gonna wake up happy and grateful every day. Like, how does that sound to you? And it was like basically like, oh, that doesn't sound so bad. It's like you're like subconscious is chasing like an emotion. It's not thinking logically. Like, logically, that doesn't make sense. Like, why would you not want a house? But you're like, to your brain, it like interprets it as like such a good thing because of the emotions that you would feel as a result of that. And yeah, that one really was kind of eye opening to me because I remembered this thing that my family used to say to me a lot, and that was essentially I can't even remember what phrases they would say, but basically it boiled down to like, Brandon, you're too emotional. You need to think more logically. Use more logic. Stop being so emotional with all your decisions. And at the time, gosh, I remember as a kid being so like offended by that because I was like, I'm not a fucking robot. Like, why are you saying that to me? Like, why are you saying it like I could just turn it off? Like I would do anything to fucking turn it off so that you would like accept my decisions or whatever, right? Like, obviously I'm not doing this to be spiteful. And it was so frustrating to me as a kid because I didn't have the vocabulary or like the relationship to articulate that. And it was like coming from like basically everyone in my family, So I felt a little bit ganged up on, but I gotta say, I am so glad that I never listened to them and I continued making decisions off of my emotions because God has not left me in an amazing place. And I know in hindsight as an adult they wanted the best for me and I love them and I appreciate that. But I'm just so thankful that deep down I just knew that I had the right mindset and I just knew to ignore them. I just knew to ignore them. I knew where they were coming from. They wanted security, they wanted safety, they wanted me to be safe and comfortable, whatever, but they didn't know what they were doing. As parents, as older like figures in my life to guide me, like in some aspects they got it right. In a lot of ways they did not get it right at all. And I think I'm just very lucky that I found my way. And yeah, so that was just, I think, something that was sticking in my mind all day today was as I was listening to this podcast, just hearing how important the emotions were to living like a fulfilling and successful life. And I'm not going to go into all the details here. You can watch the podcast if you want, the Ali Abdaal podcast if you want to hear it. But I'm just, God, the whole time I was just like, thank God I kept this part of me. I didn't like shut that side of myself out to like please my parents and stuff. I'm so glad I don't want to say defied them, but I'm so glad that internally I allowed myself to keep acting on emotion because God has that served me. And like it just, I don't know, like, maybe for some people that works, but in my life and the way I want to live my life and operate, emotions has been 100% the way to go. So I don't know. It just, there are other aspects too. Maybe I can't think of it right now, but there have been a lot of times where, it's been frustrating. Like my family they'll tell me like, do this, like you're wrong about this, don't do this. And inevitably, look, I don't want to like compare, right? And like it's not a competition, and I love my family. But honestly, like when I think about it, I feel like I'm living my ideal life. I'm so grateful, I'm so blessed, I'm so like I feel in tune with everything. And I feel like I have my shit together. So it's like, they can't really say anything to me because it's like, sure, maybe they don't agree with my way of like living or whatever, but dude, I figured it out for myself. Like, I honestly, like, I don't know, I can't speak for them, but like, I'm pretty damn happy. Like, I'm the happiest I've ever been in my life. And I don't know that they can say the same. That's all I'm saying. Is like, they're maybe trying to project what they think will bring happiness onto me. And I'm so glad I stuck my ground and I was like, nope, I'm doing what's right for me. I know what's right. I'm gonna do it. And it's so crazy because it took so long to finally show my parents that I knew what the fuck I was doing with my life. And it was the best feeling to like show them, to just show them by my actions that I have a handle on my life. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm living an amazing life. And it's so liberating, dude, because as a kid, when you're living in your house with your parents, you can feel that way, but there's no physical evidence or proof that you prove them wrong. But now I just feel so good. It feels so good. So anyways, I just feel like I wanted to say that. Like, I'm so proud of myself for sticking true to myself and for not like being a complacent little, oh, I'm gonna like follow all the rules that my parents set for me and like do everything by the book and what they said. No, I'm glad I stuck to my guns and I did things my way, because it led me to my ideal life, which is what I have right now, which I'm so grateful for. Anyways, I think that was a big one. Let's see. And okay, this is a little bit unrelated, but along the lines of living like a happy and fulfilling life. I think back to this interview that I saw a long time ago. I forget which video it was, but it was a video interview with Tai Lopez. It might have been like in his house or something. Like someone was touring his house and they asked him. And Tai Lopez, I don't know if you'll remember him, but he's like this older like meme guy. He was like, back in my garage, like knowledge books, and he like, here are my Lamborghinis. He had like these viral marketing ads or whatever, and he was basically trying to come off like a guru or something. I don't know if he actually is a guru or not, I don't know, but basically I think what he said though really stuck with me, which is I think the interviewer asked him like, what was the happiest you've been in your life? Like, what time period was the happiest you've been in your life? Because I think he's like, what, a multimillionaire or whatever now. And his answer actually shocked me and gives me a lot of perspective. And I think about it a lot. And his answer was, I was the happiest I've ever been when I was making 100 grand a year. Because his reasoning was something along the lines of like, it wasn't so much money that people were like trying to use him and like take advantage of him, and it wasn't like all this pressure from his family and all this stuff, but it was enough money to live comfortably. And I was like, damn, that is freaking real as fuck. Honestly, like like, say what you will about his character, whatever, I don't know about any of that. I honestly don't follow him, I don't know him very well, but that really stuck with me because it really gave me the idea that like, like you just gotta call it at a certain point and say enough is enough. Like you shouldn't always be super greedy and like shoot for the most money. And look, like everybody says that, but until you live it, you don't fucking know what it feels like to chase money and trade your soul for money. Oh my God. Had this job in the past I fucking hated, but once I left that job and got my new one, it just changed everything because I wasn't like dreading going to work. And I was making enough to like live comfortably, So anyways, all I'm trying to say, I think, is just remember that Tai Lopez quote, like, like there's a certain point where you can call it enough. You can always chase for more, but don't fall into that trap, dude. It's a moving goalpost. You're always going to want more. Just be happy with, and this is a message to myself. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to preach to y'all and say, I know everybody's in a different situation. Some people are really struggling financially. I'm talking to myself here, so pardon that if not trying to give advice to people, but this is a message specifically to me. Like, you have enough, dude. Like, don't be greedy. Don't keep chasing. Like, just respect the respect the income you have, be grateful for it, not to say you shouldn't shoot for more, or like it's not a bad thing to strive for more, but in this particular case, like, don't let that dictate your every action. I think at this point you're seasoned enough in your career where you should feel stable. I think that's the key, allowing myself to feel stable and not like I'm in fight or flight anymore. Like, you are safe. You are safe. You've been in this profession, I think, for long enough that you should feel safe. So yeah, and just appreciate everything, like I said about Ty's quote. Like, just appreciate it, man. Appreciate it, because yeah, it all stems from the internal, right? Like, and here's the other thing, right? Like, I think in the podcast I was watching with I forget his name already. What was it? Joe Hudson. He was saying, like, there's a point where he was driving his car to work or whatever, and he was like thinking to himself, like, wow, billionaires have the same struggles and problems as I do. That's kind of crazy to think about. And it's like, yeah, like, if right now, at the snap of a finger, if I all of a sudden was a billionaire versus now, like, what would change in my life? Like, I don't think the money would necessarily like make my life like infinitely better from like a fulfillment and like personal development perspective. Sure, maybe like with material stuff it would change my life a lot, but internally, how am I doing internally? I think that's what I want to focus on. And I think I have enough of the like external stuff at this point, or material goods at this point. I think now it's time to just like, appreciate what you have, try to build something great, try to do work that lights you up and that gives you energy. And I think doing this does that for me. I think that's the thing. And don't chase money, dude. Don't chase money. Again, another quote from that, I think the same podcast. Basically, money is the means to an end. Money is the vehicle that will allow you to ultimately do what you want and to chase your fulfillment. Money is not the goal. Money is a means to an end. Money is a vehicle that you use to get to your goal. Just remember that. And I think at this point you should feel safe. Like, you're not gonna go homeless if you lose your job, stuff like that, right? So this whole time I've just been in this like whole fight or flight mindset, but it's safe, buddy. Like, you're good. You're good. And again, there's a message to myself, like, you're good. Don't stress too much about that. And yeah, just focus on your happiness, focus on doing good habits, focus on enriching your life, and yeah, your habits, your behavior. Focus on bettering yourself. Yeah. Anyways, I think that's a good place to stop. But yeah. All right. Have a good night. See ya.